Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet a good friend of mine, Andy Trusevich. He has been in a legal career for some 3-4 decades, but now he's doing the Lord's work. He's doing a lot of pro bono work. We're going to talk to him next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I love to bring people on my show who inspire me, and my next guest truly inspires me. Andy Trusevich is in the studio. He's a board-certified trial attorney, labor, employment, constitutional law. You've had a proud legal career, but as I said during the tease, I think you're doing the Lord's work right now. You're doing a lot of pro bono work.
Well, first, Jeff, thank you for that, and second, it's always a pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, one of the reasons why you're here is you have a pending case, and why don't you set this up, because we're going to show a piece from CBS 11 in a second, but tell me how this came on your radar screen.
Sure. So there's an app or news called Nextdoor, and I hardly ever look at it. And one night about 6-7 weeks ago, I just happened to look at Nextdoor, and this gentleman, Jim Campfield, one of Rita Ray's friends, posted on Nextdoor that she's an 80-year-old widow, heart transplant recipient, has no living relatives. Her husband passed away. She's been in this house in Plano since 1974, and the city of Plano is coming after her with criminal charges, high weeds, her fence is falling down, things like that. And to charge her criminally, especially since I've gotten involved, when I read that Nextdoor app, I reached out to the gentleman. I thought of my mom. I thought if my mom's in that position, I would hope a lawyer would help her. And so I called him and I said, I want to meet with her first. And I met with her for 20 minutes, just a lovely, lovely individual. And I said, Rita, if you want me to be your lawyer, I'm your lawyer. So I took it on pro bono.
Amazing. Much more from Andy in a second. Let's go ahead and roll the CBS 11 piece.
Let's get to that code compliance fight tonight between Plano, the city, and an 80-year-old widow. City officials say that they have tried to work with the homeowner who doesn't want their help, apparently, but is telling our Marvin Hurst a little bit of a different story, and it's one you'll only see right here on CBS News Texas.
They don't like my house, they don't like me, and they're coming after me.
A house in Plano has become a battleground. Rita Ray, whose last name we agreed not to use, is in court waging war with the city. Andy Trusevich took on the case for free.
They say Miss Rita Ray's house here is a health hazard. Is that what you see?
Not at all. And if that's true, so let's take them at their word, that they had to go get a search warrant and they found it's a health hazard. Do you see any yellow tape?
The city says this started with a report about the house in June 2024, and they've had no luck negotiating compliance on things like the foundation, the gutter, the back wall, plumbing, and at one point, high grass.
And that's simply not true. They've left door hangers and threatening letters that this is what you need to fix or we're going to criminally charge you when you have no money. And Rita has nobody in this world. There are no relatives left.
In a search warrant obtained by CBS News Texas, Plano police say they entered the home through an unsecured area. Among the discoveries inside, water on the bathroom floor and black growth on the interior surfaces within the bathroom, living room, and hallway.
You think you've got everything budgeted out, and then wham, something unexpected goes wrong, and there goes all the money you saved.
She's a widow who survived a heart transplant and lives on a fixed income. So when the city cut the grass and sent the bill, she couldn't pay for it. And they could put a lien on her house to pay for it.
Are you afraid that you are going to lose your home of many years?
Yes.
We don't own any houses like that. We don't take houses. So we may lien it or put a lien on it, and at some point in the future, if that house is sold, that lien would have to be paid off, but we're not taking houses.
Plano's Curtis Howard says the city is willing to help Rita Ray come into compliance if she agrees to the assistance.
Sometimes in dealing with some of our older population, or more seasoned citizens, sometimes they don't want help. And we can't force it upon them.
Right now, she's heading to a June 8th court date.
This is going to label her a criminal at 80 years old, and she doesn't want it.
Marvin Hurst, CBS News, Texas.
Well, you were telling me before the show that it's gone viral.
It has. After the CBS local affiliate, KTVT, put it on their YouTube, it's received 17,000 views in about 9 days.
Wow. What surprises me is that Plano doesn't back down. I mean, this is bad publicity.
Well, to me, one of the reasons I took this case is because Rita, she's a wonderful individual and she truly needs help. And as soon as I got into the case, I put a team together, all volunteers, another lawyer, a CPA to help see if she's owed any federal tax refunds, IT people, 2 realtors. So I've put together a really good team, all volunteering their time. And I've given the mayor's office 3 phone calls, not a single one was returned. He's gotten at least 100 emails. He hasn't returned a single email from people that are interested in this case. And this talked to the city manager's office. They promised they would return my call, never got a call back. I have offered them a way out of this case. And it's because the Mayor Munz of Plano, his regime, he reminds me of the mayor of New York City. He believes, at least from my observation, he believes that the government is in a better position to make decisions for senior citizens of Plano. I disagree with that. I'm a citizen of Plano, and I believe senior citizens have a right to make their own decision and don't need government to make their decision. And Mayor Munz believes that more government, I believe in less government intrusion. And that's really what this case is about. It's a microcosm of government really treats senior citizens a lot different than the rest of the citizens. And they're violating her rights to the 5th Amendment, 6th Amendment, and 14th Amendment to the Constitution. And for example, I subpoenaed Councilwoman Chris Downs. She's a councilwoman in Plano, and she's a practicing attorney. I don't know what kind of lawyer she is, but she's on the city council. She has personal knowledge of this case, so I want to subpoena her. I have a right under the 6th Amendment to subpoena her. What did she do? She got the city attorneys, the municipal attorneys, to file what they call a motion to quash, saying, and I loved how their motion, the defense doesn't need her. I'm glad they're deciding what I need and don't need, Jeff. But that's not for them to decide. And the judge is going to have to decide that. I assume he's going to follow the law, or he or she, whoever hears the case, will follow the law under the 6th Amendment and say, if a sitting president, Clinton v. Jones, the U.S. Supreme Court in a unanimous decision said a sitting president has to sit for a deposition if he has personal knowledge of the case. And President Clinton, as a sitting president, had to be deposed in that case. And I don't believe Councilwoman Downs is any more important than a sitting president.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a dumb question, because in one of those documents I saw $580. Is that right?
They charged her almost $600 just to mow her yard. And yes, the weeds were high, but all they did was mow it. And 300 of that, 350 was for the cutting. Then there's a $250 administrative fee. Why does Plano need? She's been paying taxes since 1974. Why do they need any more money from her? She doesn't have it. She's broke.
Well, and the cost to fight this in court, I mean, that's thousands and thousands of dollars.
Oh, I'm sure the city of Plano, Mayor Munn's regime, has spent tens of thousands of dollars fighting this case. And I hope he feels good at night knowing that he's beaten up on an 80-year-old woman with a heart transplant. Maybe it makes him feel good. Maybe it makes him feel powerful. Maybe it makes him justify code enforcement. I don't know. All I know is he is asleep at the switch on this case. He's never responded, and I think he should respond.
All right, how do you think this will play out?
We have a trial date, June 8th, and there's only 3 outcomes. And the good part is we get a jury. So there'll be 6 residents of Plano as jurors. And I'm hoping that the jurors will sit there and say, and it's either going to be a guilty, hung guilty, or guilty, not guilty, or hung jury. And if it's guilty, which I don't believe the evidence will show that, but if they find her guilty, they determine the fine and they can put in $0 or $1. And I'm hoping that's what happens. But I have assured the city of Plano, I said, I will fix every alleged violation by the end of June. I've given them that offer. I said, if you would drop the criminal charges so they're not hanging over her head, their response is, which they could do. And if I don't deliver, they can refile on those criminal charges. And so I've given that offer several times. I don't blame the municipal prosecutors. They work for the Munns regime. They have to do what they're told. So they're professional prosecutors. I appreciate them. They've treated me well. But if this was any other prosecutor, like a DA for Collin County or Denton County, they would dismiss these charges in a minute. But with Mayor Munn's regime, they're going for it. So it's either going to be guilty, not guilty, or a hung jury. And I believe I'm going to get a not guilty verdict. And I promised them I can resolve all of this by the end of June. I've got a team of professionals together. And if I don't deliver, then refile the criminal charges. And that's never going to happen because I'm going to deliver on what I promise.
All right, Andy, I'm going to go back to your why, because you're happily retired. Why are you fighting this case?
One, a good friend of mine said, because you and I talked about this last time, this is my 3rd retirement. I went retirement and I got bored. I went back to work. I did a 2nd retirement and I got bored. I went back to work. And my good friend said, you can't retire from something. You have to retire to something. And so that really, really, really helped me. And so the 3rd time was a charm. And I said, I'm going to retire to do traveling, but I'm also going to do pro bono work. And I'm also an active arbitrator with the American Arbitration Association. And since I've retired, I don't know if you're familiar with the Camino de Santiago, but I started in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Fort, France 2 summers ago, hiked all the way across France to the Atlantic, 550 miles. So I did that 2 summers ago. This past summer, I did the Walker's Classic Haute Route from Chamonix, France, through the Swiss Alps to Zermatt, Switzerland, and spent 70 days hiking in Switzerland, Italy, in the Italian Alps and the French Alps. So I got to travel, but at the same time, I have an active law license. I have a skill set. Why not give back?
And you're in good shape for a legal fight as well.
I'm in good shape for a legal fight. And, you know, if they find her guilty, I really wonder how Mayor Munn sleeps that night. I mean, why are you beating up on this 80-year-old widow? I just cannot understand the motivation of the city of Plano, other than they are upset because she ignored them, and Munn's regime wants to send out a message to senior citizens: if we tell you to do something, you better jump. And I don't believe that's accurate, and I don't think that's right, and I don't think that's what the jury's going to think.
All right, Andy, thank you so much for sharing your heart and your wisdom with us. We're going to end with his email address, so you can reach out to him if you'd like. He doesn't need 1,000 cases, but if you have any questions, please reach out to Andy. Andy, thanks for coming on the show.
Jeff, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right, that's it for now.
Thank you,
We'll
my
see you
friend.
next time.